And sometimes in this case, we do for our city what, frankly, we want other congregations to do. We want every congregation to really get engaged, every Christian to get involved and make a difference. You know, I cringe when people talk negatively about our city and they talk negatively about our county. And I'm not trying to deny the stats of what we are in terms of wealth and in terms of financial ability or poor or homeless. I'm not denying the reality, but it's like, it's one thing to look at reality, and it's another thing to look at reality and then go, well, we just, it's too big for us. Our attitude is just get in there and make a difference. And we're not the first Christians that actually struggled through that. We're not the first Christians who looked at that. We're not the first Christians that had to deal with that. Matter of fact, the early church was doing the same thing. They were involved. They made a difference. The first church, the very first church, book of Acts chapter 2, first church. I mean, that must have been an amazing place to be a part of. I mean, you read Acts chapter 2, it was just amazing. God took 120 people, okay, and then he multiplied them to the point that there were over 3,000 that were saved in a matter of hours. I mean, they went from just a little bit larger than the average church in America to a mega church in a few hours. And then it's the aftermath that I want us to see for just a few minutes today. The aftermath of that is verses 42 through 47 in Acts chapter 2. This is kind of the epilogue on the story before you get on into chapter 3. And it says this: they, being all these Christians, 3,000 and 120 and whoever else was in there, they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship, to the breaking of bread and to prayer. Everyone was filled with awe at the many wonders and signs performed by the apostles. All the believers were together and had everything in common. They sold property and possessions to give to anyone who had need. Every day they continued to meet together in the temple courts. They broke bread in their homes and ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God and enjoying the favor of all the people. And the Lord added to their number daily those who were being saved. Now, there's a lot that's going on in those verses. It's a wonderful passage. I've taught bits and pieces of that passage. We've done it here a lot as a church. There's a lot happening right there. But verse 47 is where I want to zoom in on. That last verse. Praising God and enjoying the favor of all the people. I added the emphasis there to really show you what I want you to see. Okay? And enjoying the favor of all the people. And the Lord added daily to their number those who were being saved. Now when you see this in the original language that Luke, the author of Acts, was writing, and he's writing in Greek. We're reading it in English, so we're reading a translation. But when you see it in Greek, you see that reference to all the people, that's like all the people of Jerusalem. That's the city that they're in. Their city noticed how they were living as Christians, and their city showed them favor. It showed them positive, beneficial feelings, that how they lived made such a difference. And who they were in Jesus made such a difference that their city noticed it, and it actually brought them favor. Now that's fascinating, because there's so much we don't know. There is so little we actually have of the minute-by-minute, play-by-play that they went through. We don't know what they did specifically to gain favor. I would imagine selling their possessions, making sure there was no one in need. I'm pretty sure that was pretty significant. People probably noticed that. But also, I mean, Jesus himself said that the world would know us by our love. And the implication is our love for each other. How Jesus has changed us and how we treat each other is a testimony to the world of how Jesus changes us. And then by extension, how he can change them. So the first church is dealing with that. They're just living their lives together, figuring out what it means